Welcome everybody, my name is François Letarte and this is my channel JDRD30, a channel about tabletop role-playing games. Today, question 21 of the RPG A Day series of question, RPG A Day 2015, and today this is the favorite RPG setting. Well, I have some of them. I don't have a top setting. It depends on what I want to play, but I have some that I will show you today. And I'll begin with this one. Stormbringer. Well, the Elric universe. Well, I'm a big fan of this series of novel, and I really like this setting because it's a simple setting. There's not too much description about the lands in the Young Kingdoms, just enough to give you the tone, because that's the kind of game where the character doesn't seek treasures or stuff like that, like a more classic fantasy setting. It's more kind of a personal quest, in my opinion. So just having the tone of the place gives you a lot. Well, it's enough for me. That's why usually I like settings that are quite light in their description. You know, I would like to run something in Middle Earth and yeah, the One Ring or something like that, but it's a so much detailed setting that I would just go crazy. That setting is a classic fantasy one, and you know, you just have enough information to run it and put the fire to your imagination. Yeah, I really like this game, and I will start. I will have the intention to run it, you know, in the future. See, it's one of my favorite role-playing games too. Well, the other one is a more humorous one, but it's always has its effect around my table. Men in Black. Yes, I'm a fan of the first movie. I like the third one, and you know, sometimes just to change the pace around my table, I like to run this game once in a while, doing a one shot, and we're having a blast. We're laughing. You know, that's the kind of game where I feel loose. You know, the setting doesn't constrain me. First of all, the setting, I set it in my surrounding area. You know, these are the Men in Blacks that operates in the Quebec province. You know, they can go to Montreal, they can go to Quebec City, they can go everywhere in the province. So the cultural references are easy to me to get, and that's why I feel so loose about it. And yeah, I really like this setting. Well, this one is a D6 system product. I don't run it exactly as what you have in there. I have my own modifications, but nevertheless, it's a very light setting and light system. It captures the tone of the movie quite well, and every time it's a big success around my table. I won't run a campaign in that, but you know, some one shots. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 adventures, one after the other. But nevertheless, the life of a Men in Black is a very funny one. And yeah, so yeah, I can consider that as one of my favorite settings, since I just feel good in this one. You know, for me, there's no complication or efforts. It all comes naturally when I run this. You know, it's simply having your world, putting some strange thing into it, aliens, and having the Men in Black going through that with the secrets that they know. Yeah, it's simple as that, and I can guarantee that you can have lots of fun with that one. I had a video a couple of months back. It was on Vimeo though. That I consider this game as an underrated game. It's a very cool setting, and I suggest that you can use the Men in Black universe and put that into any game system that you want. A rules light one would be preferable, but yeah. But I think it's an underrated setting. That setting should be used by many more gamers, in my opinion. The last one, well, I can't be really objective about this one because I've participated into that setting. RPGS. I can consider it as one of my top settings just because of the way it is made. It was a project that was led by Sébastien Allard, Null Inquisitor. Last year was presented at FrigateCon, and yes, so it's a fantasy toolkit. That's the way it's called. What do you have in here? You have a big empty map with some regions that are settled and were created by many different authors. So I can be objective because I have one nation in that I have written. But that's the kind of toolkit that I like. The cat. Yeah, that's the kind of toolkit that I like. You know, that there's just enough information to have the tone of the places, but there's lots of room for your own interpretation. So yeah, I think it's one of my top just by the way this is made. It's the kind of toolkit that I like. That's the kind of setting I want to play in. So yeah, I have projects to run something into that when time will permit, but I recommend that. I will put the link below of that one because that's a free PDF. If you didn't know about this one, well, basically it's a free PDF. I have my hard, you know, I have a hard book copy that I've bought on Lulu, I think. Is that Lulu? But yeah, but you know, if you want to run that, the PDF is free. So that was a cool project. I'm very happy to have participated in it. Yeah, well, that's 3 ideas of a settings that I like. Of course, I like settings like Star Wars. Star Wars, if it's a very loose setting, you know, the galaxy is big, and you can have you can create your own portion of the galaxy. Just put the Star Wars feel into it, and you'll believe that it's really Star Wars. Yeah, well, usually I like some science fiction settings. Because of that, you know, I used to run a Star Trek, and I have created some portions of the galaxy. The same thing, you know, I created something, and I enjoyed myself in sending the Federation into there. So yeah, so I like science fiction settings in general. I'm just looking to see if I'm not missing something. Well, I guess that's what I have to say. And I like, yeah, one last, yeah, I think I will show it to you. I'm a big fan of swashbuckling type of setting. You know, Gerb Swashbucklers is a book that I really like. I like, you know, some historical facts that comes with that, and that era. I'm really a Musketeers fan. You know, I have here 7C. I have 7C here, 7C. Which I never tried 7C. I just add the book, you know, to a very cheap price. No, I've paid 50 cents for it, and I'm very happy to have it. But that's a swashbucklers type of setting. So yeah, I'm a big fan of swashbuckling setting. So yeah, in general, I don't have one setting that is on the top of the other. I just have numerous settings that I like to go in, and usually those settings don't have too much details into them. I like settings when you just have enough information to run it, to have to know what kind of tone it is set in, and yeah, that's the kind of setting that I like. I don't like stuff that are too too detailed. Yes, so that was my today's question. Check out Autocratik's channel and invitation to participate to this RPG A Day 2015 event. My name is François Letarte, and up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your game. Goodbye.